would agree to that I'm fairly easygoing. I'm not wound up very easily in terms of anger. It's just, I'm made like my dad in that way. We're just easygoing. So if someone offends me or hurts my feelings or whatever, and then they ask for forgiveness, I'm gonna forgive them really quickly and easily. I probably don't even know that they offended me. It just, stuff rolls off of me really easily. I'm kind of wired that way. So if somebody does me wrong, I can get over it. But if I find out someone was planning to do me wrong, well, that's a whole nother story. I mean, don't get it twisted. I'll take these earrings off and we can... Don't let the little white shirt fool you. If I find out somebody's been scheming, that's different. I find out you've been thinking beforehand. You've been studying me so that you can watch to see when I come and when I go. You've been watching to see what my weaknesses are so that you could figure out how to dangle the right carrots at the right time to lead me astray in the right way. You've been trying to figure out what my weaknesses are, what the proclivities of my flesh are, so that you can take advantage of those. And not only have you been watching and studying me in my current state, you've been looking into my history so that you can figure out what abuses I've suffered, what hurts I have, so that you can figure out what tender places I might still have in my heart, so that you could take advantage of those. And when I find out, not only have you had the nerve to be studying me, but you've been studying this man that the Lord has given me to be married to for the past 18 years. You are studying him to figure out what his weaknesses are so that you can try to lead him astray in the right way. You've been trying to figure out what the frailties of his flesh are and what he's inclined towards so that you can lead him away from our family and from our home and from the God-given destiny that he's been called to. And then when I find out, not only have you been studying him in his current state, but you've been looking into his history so that you can figure out what hot button issues he has from his history so that you can make his history and my history combust so that we cannot have peace in the four walls of our home. And then when I find out that not only have you been studying me and my husband, but you've had the nerve to have your eyes on these 3 boys that the Lord has given me to rear into men of God. When I figure out you've had your eyes already set on their fears, their anxieties, their weaknesses, you're already planning at this fledgling stage how you can trip them up so that they do not rise up and become the men of God that they have been called to be. When I find out that you've been scheming against me and the people I love, well, if it's a war you want, it's a war you don't have. It causes you to get mad, doesn't it? It should cause a holy indignation to rise up on the inside of you. It should compel you that if he's scheming against you, that you ought to have a scheme against him. Y'all, we gotta have a plan of action. Listen to me. He is preying on lazy Christianity. He is hoping we will come to church on Sunday and say amen and come to the conference and applaud and have a great time. What he does not want is someone who rises up on Monday through Saturday and stands in the gatekeeper of her home. He wants us lazy and indifferent and apathetic, not picking up the armor of God and standing firm against his schemes. He doesn't care if you say amen to the message. He wants to make sure you don't go home and live the thing day after day. Somebody's got to rise up and say, not today, devil, not on my watch. I'm not just going to lay down and let you run roughshod over my family. My peace of mind, I got to go to war. Yo, we got to go to war. We got to go to battle against the schemes of the enemy. If your marriage is falling apart, it's your time. Rise up and be a woman of God. If your teenager is going astray, don't just lay back and watch the enemy take your son or your daughter on a ride. You be the one that is found on her knees with her hands outstretched, warring for her family. Grandmother, grandfather, we need you to go to war for your grandkids. The enemy wants you apathetic. He wants you lazy because then he can take advantage of you. And he's scheming. He's scheming. Have you ever wondered why that particular carrot is dangled in front of you? It's that temptation that wouldn't bug your girlfriend because it's not her thing. She's not even interested in that. It's the one that suits your fancy. Has it ever occurred to you that that carrot is always dangled when you're particularly lonely? That carrot seems to show up when you're overwhelmingly tired. That it always seems to be right there when you're overwhelmingly hungry, vulnerable, easily enticed. That's not coincidence, that's a scheme. And he has schemes against nations, he has schemes against communities, he has schemes against churches, and he has a scheme against you. The Apostle Paul says, don't be afraid, but you better be on your guard. You gird yourself with some armor that works.